Have you ever walked into a room and felt like people were watching you, but not in a bad way? Or maybe women smile a little longer, blush, or act kind of silly around you, and guys get weirdly competitive. Or perhaps strangers just assume you're confident, even if you haven't said a word. Well, quick question. Have you ever wondered why some guys just own the room without saying a word? Well, you might be one of them and not even realize it. Well, sir, you might be way more attractive than you realize. And I am not just talking about your jawline or your broad shoulders. I'm talking about the traits that actually make people, not just women, stop and take notice. In this video, you will learn 7 signs you're a highly attractive man. Some you probably overlook every day. So by the end of this video, you will stop doubting yourself and start owning your presence. And if you need a nudge owning your attractiveness, I've got that for you too. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. I help good men like you decode women so you can find, attract, and keep your keeper. Welcome to Just the Tip. All right, let's jump in. Number 1, you command respect without demanding it. What it means? Well, you don't shout for attention. You don't have to dominate a conversation. But when you walk in, people notice you have a real presence. It's the kind of silent gravity that pulls attention without even trying. Your body language is calm, your eye contact is intentional, and your energy is centered. You don't need to prove yourself because your vibe already speaks volumes. Example. Let's say you walk into a room and without saying much, people adjust their posture. They look at you before speaking, or maybe your opinion gets asked, even if you're not the expert or the loudest voice in that group. That is respect. Key point. When it comes to women, respect precedes attraction. You've built an inner confidence that doesn't need to scream. It simply is. And that's magnetic. It's not about being loud, aggressive, or boastful. It's about being certain. And certainty is sexy. An emotionally healthy woman fears being with a man who needs to dominate to feel powerful, because insecurity in a man can turn into being controlling and unpredictable or even dangerous. Number 2, you have a strong sense of purpose. What it means. Attractive men don't drift aimlessly in life. They move with intention. Whether you're building a career, chasing a dream, or just trying to be 1% better each day, you have direction, even if you're retired. And that direction is super attractive because women can feel it when you're not just existing, you're becoming. You're not waiting for life to happen to you. You're crafting it, directing it, and leading the way for you. Example, let's say you're not a millionaire or shredded like a gym rat, but you have a plan. And every day you show up and move the needle forward. You read, you grind, you invest in your health, your goals, your mindset, maybe even your garden. Key point, a man on a mission doesn't chase, he effortlessly attracts. That sense of mission gives your presence weight. Women notice when a man walks like he knows where he's going, even if he's not there yet. A woman fears being with a man with no drive or direction because drifting means she will have to do all the emotional and logistical heavy lifting to keep life moving forward. Now, if you've already seen yourself in these first 2 signs, the next few might just confirm you're walking around with silently sexy superpowers. Number 3, you make people feel seen and heard. Now, what does it mean? It means you actually listen, you give your full attention, you make eye contact without making it intimidating or weird, like I just did. That kind of emotional awareness is rare, and it's a sign you are a highly attractive man. Women feel it. They may not always say it outright, but when you're the kind of man who listens, not to reply, not to game her, but to understand, well, you stand out instantly. In a world of distractions and surface level talk, being fully present is a power move. Example, let's say she tells you about a bad day at work. Most guys would half listen. Maybe they'd nod, or worse, they would try to solve it without being asked. But you listen, you nod, you ask follow-up questions, you sit in silence if needed, and maybe later you remember what she said and check in with her saying something like, "Did your boss ever fix that issue?" That level of care, it doesn't go unnoticed. She might even look at you like, "Where did this guy come from?" Key point, when you're genuinely attracted to a woman, but don't act like you got a hidden agenda. She feels safe to let her guard down. Most guys come at her with pickup lines or ulterior motives, but the man who listens with real curiosity instantly stands out as a highly attractive man. A woman fears being with a man who doesn't really listen because being emotionally invisible is lonelier in a relationship than being single. Number 4. You carry yourself like you don't need validation. What it means, you don't fish for compliments or brag about big accomplishments or little accomplishments. You are not chasing approval. You know your worth, even when no one is clapping. And if anything, silence fuels you. You don't need a cheering squad to validate your value. You could be grinding in the shadows for months or maybe even years and still walk with confidence because your validation comes from within, from the efforts you're making, not from likes or views or external validation. Example, maybe you are at an event and everyone is showing off, flexing their job or their watch or their look what I did stories, but you don't need to talk about yourself like that. You are calm, collected, and maybe even a little mysterious. Key point, real attraction starts when you stop trying to be liked and start being you. Confidence is magnetic to everyone, but women pick up fast when you're not trying too hard. It signals you already know your worth, and she instinctively trusts there's a reason for that. You are the prize. A woman fears being with a man who needs external validation because that insecurity often leads to attention seeking and sometimes cheating. 5. You attract polarizing reactions. What it means, some people love you, others feel oddly intimidated or maybe even put off by you. And that's actually a good thing because being truly genuine and attractive means not everyone is supposed to like you. It means you have presence strong enough to polarize. You're not trying to fit in. You are grounded in who you are, and that kind of energy disrupts people who are unsure of themselves. You say what you think and you stand on your values. Example, let's say you're in a group and you confidently share an unpopular opinion. Half the room nods, impressed. The other half kind of goes quiet or maybe defensive. You didn't insult anyone, but your certainty shook something in them. That's the kind of energy that separates boys from men. Key point. If everyone is comfortable around you, you may be playing it a little too safe and being the nice guy. And what do we know about guys who are too nice? Well, they often get left behind. True attraction isn't about being liked by everyone. It's about being respected, remembered, and felt. And you don't water yourself down to make others comfortable. You own your space, which is very attractive to the right woman. A woman fears being with a man who tries to be liked by everyone because if he has no backbone, how can she trust him to protect her, stand up for her, or lead with strength? If you have ever wondered if a woman's just being friendly or secretly into you, well, this next one clears it up fast. 6. Women flirt differently around you. What it means, they find reasons to touch you. They laugh harder at your silly or stupid jokes. They mirror your body language, and they ask random questions just to keep the conversation going. If she is doing all of that, she's probably not just being friendly, she's attracted to you. This is what women do when they are drawn to a man but don't want to come out and say it. The light shoulder taps, the accidental brushes, the deep eye contact are those subconscious ways of building connection. And if she's asking you about your favorite pizza topping or what you like to do on the weekends, trust me, she is not doing that with every other guy. Example, let's say you're talking about your weekend, and instead of just nodding, she leans in, laughs when you do, lightly touches your arm, and then suddenly asks, do you always do stuff like that solo, or are you secretly seeing someone? Well, that is not random, my friend. That is a loaded question. She wants to know if there's room for her. Key point, women speak 1,000 shades of hint and assume you do as well. If her body's close, her laugh is loud, and her curiosity is on overdrive, don't ignore the signs. Attraction isn't always confessed. Sometimes it's subtle. A woman fears being with a man who misses her subtle hints and signals because she has to chase him or shut herself down to avoid rejection. Now, just before I reveal the last sign you're a highly attractive man and what to do if you're not feeling quite that confident, if you have found value in this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing and maybe share it with a friend. And thank you if you already have. Okay, number 7, you make peace look powerful. What it means, you don't chase chaos. You don't react to drama. You're calm when others are impulsive. That emotional stability makes you a safe space and a storm at the same time because you can't be rattled. Here's the thing. When you walk into a room with that grounded energy, people feel it and women are magnetized by it. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. You are not disturbed by petty games, and when something goes wrong, which can always happen, you don't spiral into panic. You breathe, assess, you handle it. That's highly attractive. Why? Because emotional maturity is rare, and anyone can flex muscles or money if they have them, but not many can stay centered when things fall apart, especially in today's world. For example, let's say someone tries to bait you into an argument. Instead of snapping back, you say, hey, I'm good to talk, but not to fight. Let's hit pause and come back to this when it's chill. Boom, that's power. That's control. That's the kind of vibe that makes women feel safe and makes immature men feel insecure. Key point, a woman needs you to be her rock and her safe place. In a world full of overreactors, your peace is intimidating in a good way. And when you're unfazed by the noise, people realize you are the one in control. A woman fears being with a man who reacts instead of responds because emotional volatility means she can't relax, she can't rely on him, and definitely can't feel safe being vulnerable. She's emotional enough for the two of you. Still not convinced you're attractive? Well, let me flip that belief real quick. Here's the thing. Being attractive isn't about your face, your bank account, or your car. Sure, those things can help, but unless you're chasing a shallow woman, that's not what really matters. And if you've got the basics handled, it comes down to how you show up. Your energy, your presence, your intention. That's what draws in a high quality woman who is not just looking for shiny things, but a solid man like you. Now, if you saw yourself in even 3 of these signs, you are more attractive than you give yourself credit for. Give yourself a pat on the back, but not in public. If you saw yourself in all 7, well, stop scrolling relationship advice and get out there and start owning your power, sir. If not, you might want to get my Wake Up to Love program and do the work. Here's a recent Google review about my program. It's a one-time cost and a lifetime access. So thank you, Mike, for your review. And in the meantime, you might also want to work your way through the suggestions in my 15 masculine activities to be more manly. Up next, it is not what you think. Don't worry, don't get your back up. Remember, attraction isn't about the chase. It's about who you become. So thank you so much for being here. I believe in you. You got this. God bless. Here's some more hand motions, just for shits and giggles. Have a good day. Love you. Bye.